Hey guys, it's Destiny, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about Xueyi and why I think she'll be a pretty valuable character and what teams I think will be good on her just for team concepts, and of course, much more. I'll also be discussing Ruan Mei in the aspects of value, especially banner value when it comes to who the banner is good for, new or older players as well in this video. If you guys enjoy videos like these, make sure to subscribe and also hit the like button to increase your chances of getting a Xueyi. The source is to just trust me on this one. Without further ado though, let's get straight into it. To start, I wanted to talk about Xueyi since she'll be the new 4-star of 1.6 patch, so I thought I'd start with her kit and things I noticed about Xueyi from the live stream. To start off, she's a quantum destruction character, which is the first quantum destruction character. Once Sparkle also releases, Quantum actually has now a character for each path, so this is really cool. But when it comes to her kit, her basic attack as well, a pretty basic attack. Her skill is able to hit an enemy and also adjacent enemies, which is nice for having semi AoE damage since she can hit 3 enemies with her skill. The main thing that is really cool about Xueyi though is her karma stacks. In the live stream it showed Xueyi gaining karma stacks, which she does a follow-up attack once she gets enough stacks, and if you look closely at the live stream, it is 8 stacks. Xueyi gets stacks whether she or an ally reduces an enemy's toughness meter. This is really important since Xueyi can hit 3 enemies with her skill. If all of these enemies are weak to quantum, she should be able then to get 3 out of these 8 stacks immediately from just using her skill. Since an ally also counts for this, an AoE team member can easily get Xueyi a bunch of stacks, which might offer the potential of a dual DPS team as well, or even supportive characters that can hit 3 or more enemies. For example, if we were to have Asta. If each hit dealt can reduce an enemy's toughness, then you can easily get Xueyi a bunch of stacks pretty fast in theory, which means you could definitely get off a bunch of follow-up attacks, which I'll get into this a bit more later on what teams could potentially be pretty nice, but this overall is pretty strong. Xueyi's ultimate though is single target, but it reduces an enemy's toughness regardless of their element, which is very strong for potentially weakness breaking an enemy with quantum, and entanglement is definitely very powerful. And when a character has a lot of break effect, entanglement pops can definitely do a bunch of damage. So this may imply that maybe break effect could be something we could look at, but I'll get into this a little bit into a different video when it comes to potential builds for prepping for Xueyi. But the more toughness you deplete, the more damage Xueyi will deal with her ultimate. So I could definitely see Xueyi having a nuke ultimate depending on her multipliers. But in my opinion, based on her kit, she has a main DPS and sub DPS potential. Main DPS could be possible if her multipliers are high enough, and also you have proper supports with her that allow her to deal a bunch of damage on her own. And for a sub DPS aspect, since she can get her karma stacks from an ally or herself reducing toughness of an enemy, this will allow her to deal follow-up attacks. Then she can deal damage passively as the fight goes on, and pair her with another damage dealer to have a dual DPS setup going on. I do think her being quantum is also pretty nice, since for those who don't have Zila or a built-up Xingxue, now you have another option for a potentially strong quantum DPS. And she will likely be able to synergize pretty well with mono quantum, since Silverwolf is able to implant the quantum weakness onto an enemy, which can help the whole team reduce the toughness of an enemy as well. And this will allow Xueyi to get her stacks and also deal more damage to an enemy because of Silverwolf's debuffs. So mono quantum in my opinion is definitely a possibility too. As for banner value though, the reason why I think this banner is actually perfect for Xueyi is because of Ruan Mei being the 5-star of the banner. Ruan Mei has a bunch of things in her kit that will enhance the team's damage and even playstyle because of her increasing weakness breaking efficiency, which helps the team deal with enemies' toughness even more. And since Xueyi's ultimate deals more damage depending on how much toughness is broken, this can be an incredibly strong synergy. Ruan Mei giving ult type penetration, which is incredibly powerful by the way for dealing more damage. This is really good. She's also able to delay an enemy's weakness broken state, which if you do decide to do a dual DPS comp, your damage dealers can do a very good amount of damage to enemies. Plus, if Ruan Mei's delay state is pretty powerful in how long it can delay an enemy, this can allow your team to hit enemies numerous times before the enemy actually recovers their toughness meter. And if their toughness meter isn't recovered, they just can't do anything. The enemy will not be able to move, so Ruan Mei is just going to be really powerful. And she also gives a bunch of other buffs that she can provide to the team. So I feel like this can allow these two to be a very strong synergy, which is why I think that both of them being on the same banner is incredibly good for every single player. I want to explain this though. If you are a new player, you have the opportunity now to get a DPS character, which is Xueyi, and also potentially Eidolons depending on how much you pull, and also a support who is honestly, I'm just gonna be straight up, she's looking to be pretty busted by how much she provides. I'll likely talk about this a little bit more in depth tomorrow, just a Ruan Mei specific video, but this lady is no joke on what she'll be able to do for teams, and she also appears to be very universal in purely benefiting a team by a ton. So if you're an older player, I still think these two are incredibly valuable because you can rotate around which DPS characters you do use. Ruan Mei being a support on your team will be beneficial no matter the age of your account in my opinion. Plus, Tingyun being on the banner is of course a plus since Tingyun is awesome. But now I wanted to go over potential synergies and explain them for you guys since it can help you to potentially think of what teams or team concepts can be a good option for you. I mentioned it a little bit ago, but I could see Mono Quantum working pretty nicely, especially now that we have basically a quantum character for every element once Sparkle is here. You could do a team of Fuxuan or Lynx, Xueyi, Silverwolf, and another DPS, or once Sparkle is here, which should be 2.0. Of course though, you can use another Harmony character in the Sparkle slot since she's not here yet, which could be of course Ruan Mei herself if you do get her, or whoever you feel comfortable with using. Another synergy I can see is potentially Topaz and Xueyi, since Xueyi has follow-up attacks and Topaz has Proof of Debt and Numbi, which means Topaz can buff Xueyi's follow-up attacks and also deal her own follow-up attacks alongside Xueyi. And if the enemy does have a fire weakness and Numbi is able to attack relatively often alongside Topaz, then you should be able to rack up Xueyi's stacks a decent amount. But I'd also want to play and test the synergy out for you guys, so I'll let you know how it fully operates once she is here. Another concept though is Xueyi plus another DPS, which could be really anyone you want, but I do think an AoE character who is super effective against whoever is on the field is your best bet, since they can get Xueyi's stacks going pretty fast and she can go to town on enemies because of it. You could also potentially go the hyper carry route with Xueyi as well, maybe with Bronyer, Tingyun, and Ruan Mei, and a sustain, and just deal a bunch of damage with Xueyi herself, since her skill can hit an enemy in adjacents, so she'll have a good form of AoE in that aspect. Overall though, there should be a good amount of options to pick from when it comes to building a team with Xueyi, and once again, I'm definitely a huge fan of Ruan Mei and Xueyi being together, since I cannot wait to see how powerful the two of them will be. I do think this banner is honestly incredible, and in my opinion, I think this banner is one of the best banners because of how much value it could potentially bring to your account. And that is why I personally think that everyone should at least consider this banner, weigh their options, look at what the characters do, play even the trial once they're here, watch videos once they're here. I think it is worth it, or at least worth considering. But that'll be all for me. I'd love to know, what do you guys think of our 1.6 characters to pick from? Do you think Ruan Mei and Xueyi will be worthwhile, or not really? And let me know why in the comments down below as well. I do hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button to support the video, and like always, I hope you all have a nice one. Peace.